The name of the collection is called Berserker Gang and means a state of warrior madness. Just tried to put together a gang of kind of fiery women and kind of based on superheroes and Marvel comics. So the idea of strong, independent women, I suppose.
Primarily we use the air dryer with the total volume foam, which we blow dried into all of the wigs, and what that's given us is given us lots of volume, lots of hold, but without the stiffness. Well, GHD air is luxury just because it kind of puts a velvet finish on the hair. We've used the stylers to create a bit of a bend and a bit of a wave as a pay homage to a superhero. They always have that type of flick, that gorgeous part of the hair.
This is our second show with GHD, but probably about our 8th time working with Alan White.
The reason why I can do a show like this is because I do have that support from GHD. It's great to work with Romance Reborn, and one of the reasons why I like to work with them is because they allow me to expand on an idea. I don't just get an idea and then just execute it. For me, it's a dream because I can take it to wherever I want.
We share a very similar vision, and nothing's ever too much of an ask, and yeah, we know that he understands what we're on about. Yeah, it's great. I'm really excited.
I think we just started to feel that on Wednesday. We ticked off the hair, we ticked off the makeup, we ticked off the music, and then from then on samples started to really roll in and it started feeling exciting.
I guess Frida Kahlo's our inspiration this season. She was a really passionate woman. We loved her art. She could just get what she wanted.
It's Frida's kind of idea of texture, her use of fabric, her use of colour. We're trying to relate that through the hair in a much more modern way.
We've worked with Alan, I think, for 3 years now. Each year it probably just gets better and better. As you know, a relationship, you get to know one another more. And
we love that he's a perfectionist.
And GHD allows us to try different things for the show and push it like this time with all the hair colours.
I wanted to use colour as opposed to texture, so we dyed 21 shades basically based on the palette in the collection, and we dyed hair pieces and made wefts. Basically we used GHD total volume foam primarily just to get texture into the hair. Once we finger dried the hair using the new air dryer, which is beautiful, it just gives us such a beautiful luxurious kind of air and a really beautiful finish to the hair, a bit more like velvet.
Yeah, it's great to use the GHD air. It's magnificent. It's a great dryer. It gives me everything I need in salon and backstage at Fashion Week.
The inspiration is really looking at Budapest and Hungary and the beautiful embroideries that come through there, particularly looking at the babushka doll, but the girl's really a modern babushka. She's beautiful and there's lots of flowers and it's a really modern take on that.
We still wanted it to feel very modern, very feminine. What's beautiful about it is how we've built the texture of the hair, and we've done that by integrating the GHD volume foam, which is fantastic for giving great body and great shine and great texture on the hair. And it's very exciting because this year we're now using the GHD Air, which is their new hero blow dryer. It's great to be able to have another product in the GHD long list of styling equipment. Well, Alice and I have got quite a long history. We first started working together at Fashion Week, I think about 8 years ago. She understands the kind of hairstylist that I am, so it just makes for a really beautiful fit.
just love working with him because he is a beautiful person, and I think that really comes out in his collections.
I know with GHD and I know with Jane that I don't have to worry. Like, I can step back after giving Jane like a rough brief idea and know that she'll execute it with GHD above and beyond what I anticipated. The collection kind of started out just being about building on techniques and building on all the foundations of like my ideas over the past kind of decade, and really taking it up a notch and exploring different fabrics and how far I could really take the ideas.
The brief from Tony was he wanted it to be quite cobwebby, the hair to be quite cobwebby over the garments and over the girls, and he just wanted it to quite naturally long. We blow dried with the air everybody's, and then we're touching up with the styler afterwards. So we're using the Protect, obviously, straight and smooth, sprays. The hair is finer, we're using the volume foam. And then we're going in, once we have put the hair up, where it's needed, we are going through with the styler.
I am like in love with it. It was like everything that I was dreaming has sort of come to life and sort of eclipsed that.
The whole thing I think is quite beautiful.
There's a lot of colour in their range. I think one of their biggest influence was the colours of Italy and the bougainvillea and the heat and all of that stuff. And what we've done is we're trying to represent that in the feeling and the emotion, I suppose, from the hair.
Well, we wanted something really raw, sexy and beautiful. We just wanted that effect of the girl just coming out of the water, so her hair still, a bit flat to her head, but she just looks amazingly raw and beautiful and tanned and natural.
What we've done, first of all, we fashioned a wave, an S-wave, with the mini styler. After I've done that all the way through the hair, I've used the air dryer to really blow that out, so really take it back to a natural movement. I then added the Smooth and Finish serum. That gives it that wet look, but it also, because it's such a lightweight product, it doesn't weigh down or pull out the curls.
Alan is just a creative genius. We just sort of left it to him, and he just, played with it and came up with something so special.
We've managed to get some really, really strong teams throughout all of the shows for GHD, so I'm really happy with their performance.
Just seeing all the girls today, we just thought, wow, the hair and makeup are just amazing, and it really does make such a difference to bringing the whole look together.
Our collection is a combination of our spring and summer collections, gone back to our street kind of heritage, and we have kind of looked at like some of our old pieces from our archive and taken that as inspiration, but also like pushing a new, cleaner, modern aesthetic. Same street culture that we've always been inspired by, but kind of giving it a kind of more modern and relevant look.
We just used the GHD volume foam just as a foundation for the hairstyle, and then mixing some of the serums, some spray, and then just piecing out the hair before we diffuse dry it with the new GHD air to set the products and hold the style in place.
Basically started off with Helmut Newton, sort of late 80s, early 90s. That was kind of a starting point, and then it evolved into colour and fabric and shapes and draping. The hair was pretty key for this collection, which basically the inspiration was Madonna from her music video Rain, when she had that kind of haircut. So we were pretty adamant this is what we needed for all the girls, and I know it was quite a big challenge for Alan, and he's done an amazing job.
Kyle Cap's collection is about a collision of beauty, a collision of fashion, of fabric moving. And what I wanted to do was come from a very tough kind of Amazonian perspective from my girl, and I wanted to have a bit of a Helmut Newton type vibe with it, but at the same time I wanted to make it modern. Well, every girl's going to be black, every girl's going to have a sharp blunt fringe, so what we've had to do is basically wig wrap everybody underneath these wigs. We're primarily using the shine serum, which gives that ultimate shine. It also gives us some room to play, and then we're finishing it off just as the girls go out with some finer shine spray, which is just a gloss that goes over the top.
When I saw the girls in the hair, that was really impressive. He's such a perfectionist, he wanted everything perfect, so the hair trial went on for probably about an hour and a half to get it perfect.
It's one of the highlights of Fashion Week, and I know Carl's going a long way with his designs and his design house, so to be a part of it at this stage, it was really important for me and GHD.
Today's brief was about the strength within the hair and the clashing of textures, basically, keeping that sharpness with the softness.
The inspiration was kind of a bit lady, a bit kind of easy to wear, easy to kind of pull together pieces. Well, it kind of just developed from like the strong eyebrow, which was a bit 1950s Elizabeth Taylor, Ava Gardner, and then it kind of just naturally kind of extended into this weird Egyptian slant, and so the whole thing kind of has a bit of a vampy feel, like with the nails. All the girls are kind of like in tight pencil skirts, so it's all a bit constrained, patty.
We started with 7 sections on the head. All the exterior of the hair was blow dried with straight and smooth. The inner parts of the head was blow dried with volume foam, just to give that volume in there. Then the texture set section was wrapped and rolled into 2 rolls on the top and then pinned together. It's the classic side styler through the sides there, and that was wrapped around the texture set, so that contradiction shows.
I love how the hair looks. It kind of looks this abstract chignon, but it's sort of a bit alien-like. It's kind of tight and soft at the same time.
We love playing with products, we love playing with textures, you know, to have extra hands from GHD is amazing, and I know a lot of the guys, I work with them all the time, so it's so lovely to have them around. With Tony, he's got such, as I always say, he's got such a beautiful personality. It shows in his designs, and again, he doesn't like to do anything the norm.
The collection is called Neo Nature. We're inspired by nature and the future, and when the two of them come together, what that means.
What you're going to see on the runway tonight is a lot of colour and beautiful neon colour, colours that are inspired by nature, future colours.
We're lucky enough to be working with Alan White, who's just a magician. He's such a pleasure to work with, and he always gets the brief and takes it somewhere really incredible. We think all the girls look like beautiful flowers or something incredible from nature in a futuristic way, but we also referenced the early 90s sort of rave underground scene, so it's a very cool take on a mohawk.
They've got this concept this time. There's a lot of bright colours going on. There's the influence of exploding flowers. What I've done, I've coloured a lot of hair in the palette of the collections. If you notice, there's a kind of like an exploding flower thing happening on the side here that goes into a sort of a mohawk. But in the mohawk, there's braids, and that braid is the kind of organic, natural element to this style and to the collection altogether. Basically, we've used the Smooth and Finish serum, and that's just really simply just put through the side and pulled it up into a ponytail, but that's given it a really beautiful, clean shine, a sophistication. GHD has just made my life easier. They've come up with the air, and it's literally, that air is luxury. That is a product that I never thought could be reinvented. It makes a big difference to how we work with our blow drying.
Oh, we love GHD, yeah. They're always willing to push the boundaries and take hair to a new level. Colour's going to blow everybody away. We've really developed a lot of incredible colours, and that's obviously through the hair as well. So it's about, you know, the joy of fashion really, and just having fun with it.
The inspiration this collection is Brazilian jungle. I wanted to have a bit of that Brazilian thing, but in the dark side. A jungle can be dark, you know, birds can hurt you, and that's, I think, was the angle that I took at this season. I didn't want to show them in models very much. I wanted to show them with my friends and the people that I love, and they're actually people that buy the dresses and wear the dresses. The other thing that I didn't want to do this year was a show that you get so stressed, and then on the 10th minute you come out of backstage and everyone is gone.
The crazy brief from Fernando is it's a masquerade party. That's all we're celebrating. They're all fantastic.
Jane Wilde is an amazing human being. She is being hand-making those masks for over 2 weeks.
All of these are made with hair. Obviously the GHD is coming super. And the air is used a lot when we've moulded it onto the frame. The frame is wire, and then we put netting across, and then we've draped some real hair over it, using the styler to put a bit of shape into it and a bit of movement. Then using the air with a bit of vinyl fix, and using the air dryer to really blast it in, and it moulds it.
It's amazing how it can be so beautiful. It looks like sculptures, and they are sensational. GH is massive, it's a beautiful brand. You don't find many brands that support an artist like GH does.